If you've ever torn open a bright, crinkly bag of Sour Patch Kids, you know the drill first. They're sour enough to make your face scrunch like you've just bitten into a lemon. And then, almost magically, they mellow into a sugary sweetness that keeps you coming back for more. It's a candy experience so familiar to Americans that it's practically a rite of passage for kids, teens, and even adults who sneak a few during late-night movie binges. But here's the big question. Have they always tasted like this? They more sour when we were younger? Or have our taste buds just grown up? And how exactly do these tiny, colorful troublemakers get made? We're about to pull back the curtain and step inside the factory where Sour Patch Kids are born, revealing every sweet and sour secret behind America's favorite pucker-inducing candy. Buckle up, this is going to be a wild ride for your taste. Buds. The history of Sour Patch Kids is as quirky as their flavor. They didn't even start out as kids at all. Back in 1979, a candy maker named Frank Galatoli, working for Canada's Jarrett International, created a sour gummy candy he called Mars Men. These little alien-shaped chews were meant to ride the sci-fi craze of the late 70s. When Star Wars fever had the whole planet dreaming about outer space. But while the candy was fun, the name didn't quite click with shoppers. So in the early 1980s, the brand got a makeover. Out went the space theme, in came the mischief. Inspired by the popularity of Cabbage Patch Kids dolls, the candy was rebranded as Sour Patch Kids. Suddenly, they weren't strange aliens. They were little cartoon kids with sweet smiles and a mischievous sour streak, just like that friend who's hilarious at a party but might also accidentally eat the last slice of pizza. The new name and cheeky image caught on fast, and before long, these tangy treats had carved out their place on candy shelves across North America. Part of their charm is the way they hit you with flavor in 2 acts. The secret lies in citric acid, that natural souring agent found in lemons and limes, which coats every candy like a glittering layer of edible lightning. One bite and you get that mouth-puckering zing, a burst so sharp it almost makes your eyes water. Then, just when you're bracing for more, the sweetness takes over, soothing your taste buds like a friend handing you a glass of lemonade after a prank. It's this perfectly balanced 1-2 punch that makes Sour Patch Kids so addictive. Over the years, new flavors joined the lineup: blue raspberry, watermelon, tropical fruit blends, but the original red, yellow, green, and orange remain as classic as an old-school rock anthem. So how do they make them? The journey starts long before the candy takes shape with a strict selection of ingredients. Factories source premium sugar for sweetness, corn syrup for that stretchy, chewy texture, and gelatin to hold the candy together. The gelatin is what gives Sour Patch Kids their satisfying bite, firm enough to chew, but soft enough that you don't feel like you're gnawing on rubber. Food coloring brings the bold, eye-catching colors we all recognize, while natural and artificial flavors give each piece its distinct, fruity punch. And of course, citric acid is the star of the show, sourced from trusted suppliers who meet exacting standards for purity and taste. When the raw ingredients arrive at the factory, they go through meticulous testing. Technicians check everything from the sweetness level of the corn syrup to the clarity and strength of the gelatin. Even the tiniest deviation could throw off the texture or flavor, so quality control starts at the door. Once approved, the sugar, corn syrup, water, and gelatin are combined in massive stainless steel mixing tanks. The mixture is heated and stirred until silky smooth with no lumps. At just the right moment, flavorings and color are added. Timing is everything here, because adding them too soon could dull the flavor or change the vibrancy of the candy. Now comes the fun part: shaping the candy. The hot, fruity mixture is poured into molds that are pre-dusted with cornstarch to keep the candy from sticking. These molds give Sour Patch Kids their iconic kid-like silhouette. After the candy sets, it's carefully removed, still soft and waiting for its final transformation. That transformation happens in giant tumbling drums. Think of them as massive, slow-spinning clothes, dryers. But instead of laundry, they're filled with candy. Here, each gummy gets rolled in a blend of sugar and citric acid until it's coated evenly. This is where the magic happens to little coating, and the sour kick won't land. Too much, and it might overpower the sweet finish. Skilled candy. Makers watch closely to make sure every piece hits that sweet sour sweet spot. After coating, the candies rest in climate-controlled rooms to dry just enough to keep their shape without sticking together. Temperature and humidity are carefully monitored. Too humid, and the candies get sticky. Too dry, and they lose that perfect chew. Once they pass this stage, they're inspected both by machine and by hand. Workers remove any misshapen pieces, uneven coatings, or broken candies. Only the perfect ones make it to packaging. Packaging is a science of its own. Precision scales weigh exact portions into bags, which are then sealed to lock in freshness and keep out moisture. Bright, playful designs on the bags make them pop off store shelves, and the packaging itself is strong. Enough to survive the journey from factory to warehouse to your local convenience store, without crushing the candies or losing the precious sour coating. From there, they're shipped nationwide, ready for movie theaters, lunchboxes, and road trips everywhere. It's this dedication to consistency and fun that keeps Sour Patch Kids a U.S. favorite decade after decade. The formula hasn't changed. Much because when you've nailed the perfect combination of sour, sweet, chewy, and colorful, why mess with it? Whether you're eating them one at a time or tossing a whole handful in your mouth, Sour Patch Kids remain a delicious little dare in candy form. First they're sour, then they're sweet, and always they're unforgettable. Imagine walking through a massive food factory where the air smells of freshly ground chickpeas and rich, creamy tahini. Giant mixers churn like industrial whirlpools, transforming humble legumes into one of America's favorite snack smooth, tangy hummus. In another corner of the snack universe, the sweet chocolatey aroma of freshly coated Maltesers fills the air. The kind of smell that can make you instantly nostalgic for movie nights and late-night indulgences. It's fascinating to think that two completely different snacks, one, a Mediterranean staple turned health food superstar, the other, a playful chocolate treat born in wartime England, share something in common, a meticulous, high-tech process designed to make every bite perfect. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on both, starting from raw ingredients and ending with the perfectly sealed packages you see in stores. Buckle up, because once you see what goes into making these favorites, you might never look at them the same way again. When it comes to hummus, the journey starts with chickpeas either dried and waiting for a soak or pre-cooked in bulk to save time. If they're dried, they're poured into huge water tanks and left to soak for 8 to 12 hours, depending on their size and variety. This isn't just to soften them. Soaking also helps remove certain sugars that can cause digestive discomfort, a little-known step that makes the end product more pleasant to eat. Timing here is crucial. Undercooked chickpeas lead to gritty hummus, while oversoaked ones turn mushy and hard to work with. Once plump and ready, they're drained and sent into industrial pressure cookers, which tenderize them in under an hour while ensuring even cooking across massive batches. The goal: soft enough to blend into that silky paste we know and love, yet still sturdy enough to hold up during processing. In some operations, the process skips straight to pre-cooked chickpeas, frozen in bulk after cooking to lock in quality. These batches are thawed and reheated before blending, ensuring consistency in flavor and texture. After cooling and rigorous quality checks, the chickpeas are ready for the magic step: blending. Inside massive industrial food processors with razor-sharp blades and motors powerful enough to turn stones into powder, the chickpeas transform into a smooth, lump-free paste. This is where precision meets artistry. The texture has to be creamy, but not watery, dense, but spreadable. Then comes the tahini sesame paste. That's the soul of hummus. Get the ratio wrong, and the whole batch is compromised. Too much, and it's bitter. Too little, and it's flat and pasty. Master blenders mix tahini into the chickpeas until the base reaches peak creamines. Next, it's flavor time. Fresh lemon juice adds brightness. Garlic lends savory depth, and a measured sprinkle of salt ties everything together. Olive oil is slowly drizzled in to give hummus that luxurious, silky mouthfeel. In many factories, an extra swirl of oil is added on top at the end for visual appeal and to lock in moisture. At this point, trained tasters step in sampling each batch to ensure the perfect harmony of nutty, tangy, and savory notes. If something's off, tweaks happen immediately. Whether that's a splash, more lemon, or an extra pinch of garlic. Food safety runs alongside flavor at every stage. Because hummus is prone to spoilage, each batch undergoes microbial testing for threats like Salmonella or E. coli. Failures are destroyed immediately, and the cause is traced to prevent recurrence. Once a batch passes all tests, it's time to package. In large-scale facilities, spotless containers, plastic tubs, glass jars, or eco-friendly alternatives are sterilized with steam or UV light before filling. Precision filling machines portion out hummus by the ounce, sealing each container airtight. Labels with nutrition facts, allergen warnings, and mouth-watering images are applied, designed not only to inform, but to grab attention in crowded, refrigerated aisles. From there, the hummus heads into climate-controlled storage at 34 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Then onto refrigerated trucks bound for grocery store shelves nationwide. The entire cold chain is carefully maintained, so the first spoonful you scoop at home is as fresh as the moment it left the factory, while hummus production is all about creamy smoothness and subtle balance. Maltesers take us to the other end of the snacking spectrum, light, crispy, and indulgent. These malted milk balls wrapped in chocolate were first introduced by Mars in 1937. During the rationing days of World War II, they were marketed as a lighter alternative to traditional chocolate bars, playing into the idea that their airy texture meant you could snack without guilt. Of course, anyone who's polished off an entire bag knows the lighter part is more about texture than calories. But that's part of the charm. The magic starts with carefully sourced ingredients. Malted barley, the backbone of that crisp interior, comes from trusted farms. Barley is roasted to deepen its flavor before being ground into a fine powder. This is mixed with milk powder, sugar, and other ingredients to form a dough-like mixture. In massive mixers, the dough is kneaded until perfectly uniform, too thick, and it's heavy. Too thin, and the signature crunch disappears. This dough is then portioned into tiny spheres, each destined to be the exact same size for a uniform bite. From here, the spheres go into a puffing process where heat and pressure transform them into light, airy malt balls. Get the temperature wrong, and they're either rock hard or disappointingly soft. Once puffed, they're cooled and checked for size and shape. Any oddballs are pulled from the line. Then it's chocolate time. The malt centers ride a conveyor into a chocolate coating tunnel, where tempered milk chocolate cascades over them in perfect proportion. Tempering is key to creates that glossy finish and satisfying snap when you bite down. Too much chocolate, and you lose the airy feel. Too little, and the balance is off. Excess chocolate is shaken away, and the coated candies are cooled slowly to lock in that flawless finish without cracking or dulling. Quality control here is obsessive. Every Malteser must have a smooth, shiny surface and the ideal ratio of chocolate to malt. Once approved, the candies are weighed into bags, leaving just enough air inside to prevent crushing. The iconic red packaging is instantly recognizable. And Mars has been working to make it recyclable as part of a broader push toward sustainability. Sealed, boxed, and loaded for shipment, these treats travel from factory floors to movie theater counters and kitchen cupboards in over 100 countries. It's fascinating how to snacks one ancient and rooted in health traditions. The other modern and unapologetically indulgent share such similar manufacturing values: precision, consistency, safety, and a dash of artistry. Whether you're dipping fresh pita into silky hummus or tossing a handful of Maltesers into your mouth during a movie, you're experiencing the result of countless careful steps and quality checks. Behind every container and every bag lies a story of farmers, factory workers, food scientists, and designers all working together to bring that perfect bite to you. And that's the real magic: turning raw ingredients into something that not only tastes good, but becomes part of our daily rituals and celebrations.